Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti here. It is Thursday afternoon. We're going to have an 8-race card. We got the fast main track, of course, the all-weather Tapeta. And it's a great week for racing. Of course, starting tomorrow, we got the Breeders' Cup on Friday and Saturday. So going to be lots of action all weekend long here, especially if you're a fan of the Breeders' Cup. And how could you not be? But we got good things going on here right now. We have a $300,000 jackpot guarantee gross pool in the Rainbow Six. But that is not all. We also have a carryover today in the late pick 5 of $40,000. They are going to be sending it in. That's races 4 through 8 this afternoon. So every time we have this kind of carryover, it's a great bet. Just one takeout. So you want to be involved, and it's a pretty nice sequence today. We'll talk about that in a little while. So fast main track, Tapeta, Breeders' Cup weekend upon us starting tomorrow. And, of course, you can watch and wager on all of races Friday and Saturday right here at Gulfstream Park. So we have advanced wagering on Friday for that Saturday card at the Breeders' Cup. But we want you to come here. You can't make it to Del Mar. This is the best place to be here in South Florida. So that takes care of all the early stuff. And let's jump right into today's first race. And it's going to be on the Tapeta today. It's going to go about 5 furlongs. These are maiden claiming 2-year-old 16,000. Just a few scratches on the card. One of them comes in race number 8 today. Race number 1. It is the number 8, I should say. And you can see on your board that horse is scratched. I started it off in here with the number 5 horse in here, and that's Drinks on the Beach, who's dropping to the $16,000 level. If you go back and look at this horse's last race, set a pressured pace, faded. That was its first ever outing sprinting on the Tapeta. He's the son of Treasure Beach, and I think he should find an easier time on or with the pace versus this caliber of competition today. So Drinks on the Beach, a little bit of a speed play for me. Early in the wagering, very early in the wagering, the 8-5 favorite right now is the number 6, Stormy Victory, who's the son of Stormy Atlantic, debuting for Rohan Crichton. Consistent work tab showing over the Gulfstream Park main track, so J.C. Diaz Jr. will be in the saddle. But, I got some interest in a horse that's up there right now at 5-2, was 5-1 in the morning line, and that is Sunspot. And we're going to go back. This one does his best running from off the pace. But first, we're going to go back and show you the pan of the start. When he's the number 10, you're going to just see him here, and he just stumbles back to last. And, once you do that, you lose all your momentum coming out of the gate, and if you follow that up the backstretch. Now, watch Turning for Home with Sunspot for trainer Will Deaton. And you got Sammy Camacho in the saddle. This horse is 1, 2, 3, 4, just about 5 wide in the race. So I thought he ran well, and you'll see how this Sunspot just comes running on the inside. So he flattens out a little bit, but after that bad start, you could see him on the inside there. Showed some late interest, ends up, finishing 4th or 5th. But after that start, was just so hard for a horse like that to get going again, especially at this level. So I thought with a cleaner start, this horse could be a danger in there. And I thought we'd get a little bit of a price. But as I said, right now, second choice on the board. But once again, prefaced it by saying very, very early in the wagering. And don't forget, I mentioned all those other things. The other thing we have a super high 5 pool, about $3,600 already in that pool going in. So we had a carryover on Sunday, not only in the late pick 5, we got the guarantee in the Rainbow Six, but we got the early pick 5, the super high 5 here. So lots of action here in race number 1 to kick things off. You see the pick 5 pooled on top of my head, $10,000. We're going to the Tapeta again for race number 2, but we're going to stretch it out around 2 turns. It's about a mile in the 16th. These are maiden claiming filly, 2-year-olds, 35,000. No scratches, no jockey changes. I went with the 7 in here, Paintbrush, who's stretching out to that distance of about a mile and a 16th. After shaking off a double trouble, she sort of bumped and steadied in her last race and still managed to finish third against 35 maidens. That was going a mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta. I was going to show the replay, but it wasn't that bad. Trainer Bobby DeBona, Lionel Reyes in the saddle today. I just thought this horse with a cleaner trip could upset the horse that's probably going to be favored in here, who finished in front of Paintbrush last time out, is the number 2, Blame the Vets, who's looking to make amends at this distance we're talking about after surrendering that late lead to finish second. Now, was the even money favorite that day. actually finished in front of Paintbrush. Tom Proctor has got Embassy El Jaramillo in the saddle again. I thought Paintbrush had a little bit of a tougher trip. That's why I flip-flopped the two logical horses, I believe, in race number 2. And then the number 5, Sandpiper Memories, who's dropping to the 35 level. Nobody in the country is hotter than jockey Saffie Joseph Jr. and Saffie Joseph Jr. and jockey Edgar Zayas. Those two together have just been incredible. This one prompted the pace and tired to finish 5th. That was her maiden special weight debut, going a mile and 70 yards on the all-weather Tapeta. So hot barn. Saffie and Edgar have just been on fire. We'll show you the trainer and jockey standings a little later on, but that barn has been, as I said, en fuego. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow Six ticket.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Ground ball first inside. Race. And a quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Host Ron Nicoletti, and a little afternoon this afternoon. And as I mentioned at the top, we got lots of exciting things going on this afternoon, including that $300,000 jackpot guaranteed pool in the Rainbow Six. So let's show you my ticket here, $43.20. And I did go 3 deep in here with Samarati, Navajo Creed, Strong Andy. We'll talk about that race in a moment. Lots of coverage in race number 4 today. Trying to maybe upset with the number 4 Compensate, but I used Rhino Gold, Palameter, and All Quality because I was able to single. I like the chances today of a Beach Nut Trophy for that red hot trainer combo with Saffie Joseph Jr. and Edgar Zayas. But so I'm singling there, and we got a stat we'll show you on that horse in race number 6, 3 deep with Think About It, Canstados, and R King Kong, who hasn't been seen since August. In race number 8, can't wait to see these two horses knocking heads again. That's the 8, She Nasty, and the 7, Sneaky Cheeky. We'll show a video of that. And in the last race today, race number 8, Casey Chief, Sun King, who had a troubled trip last time out, and Granny Makes Sense, the number 2 horse. $43.20 for me in the Rainbow Six, 43.20. And let's go back to this third race. I like the chances here, this 1 mile claimer for 3-year-olds of 4 and up that have not won 3 races in life, $6,250. By the way, we did have a scratch in here, so we got a field of 6. And I want to just show you Samarani's last race. We're going to start it off showing this horse at the start. When this horse you'll see the number 2 horse in here, Samarani, just gets shuffled back to last in this race, and you'll just see, just goes back and really, can't get, you can see right there, gets the old last place early on in the wagering. So, in the racing, I should say. So you could just see how to carve out a trip. But watch this horse making that move on the far turn. I thought this horse ran pretty well. Closes 4 wide in that race to finish second. There you see Samarati right on the outside. So had to go the overland route, got shuffled back to last. And you're going to see this horse through the stretch run. I think runs very nice after that trouble beginning to finish second. Probably ran a 16th of a mile longer than everybody else in the race. All this horse needs is a clean break. But with that said, playing devil's advocate, this horse has to break from an inside post again this afternoon. So needs to break sharply. So that's number 1, Samarati, trained by Gustavo Delgado and ridden today by Christian Torres, that inside draw this afternoon. The number 2 horse in here, Navajo Creed, certainly changed the direction last time. It was able to see clear and score. when Fernando Abreu removed the blinkers after 11 races with the shades on, and also the drop to the 6,250 level, and this horse ran exceptionally well. And it just looked, taking the blinkers off, and maybe that little bit of a drop certainly woke this horse up after many, many chances. So blinkers off again this afternoon. And then the number 5, Strong Ending, stretching out to the mile. Shook off some traffic at the half-mile pole to finish fourth again. Similar quality, going 6 furlongs. Trainer Monica McGoey has a Chantal Sutherland handling previous winner at the distance. 6 races, a win, 3 seconds in the third. So the horse has proven to me that it can handle a mile. So in race number 3, the 1, Semirati, the number 2, Navajo Creed, and the number 5, Strong Ending for my first leg of the Rainbow Six. When we flip the page, we will go to race number 4 today. And this is about 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Allowance optional claimer, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Optional claiming price of $62,500. And this is where the late pick 5 starts. And as I told you, I put a ticket together, $36. Similar to my Rainbow Six ticket. Went 4 deep in here with Compensate, Round of Gold, Palamita, and All Quality. And got that single once again with the number 4, Beach Nut Trophy. So I'm riding the coattails of Saffie Joseph Jr. and Edgar Zayas in that 5th race this afternoon with the 4. Got lots of nice coverage, $36. I'm guessing it's going to be 150, 200,000. Not that I'm ever right when I guess how much is going to be in the pool, but it's certainly going to take a lot of money. Rent said 150, and it ended up being $400,000. So I'll tell you why I like the 4 as a little bit of a price in here. Compensate. Debuting on the Tapeta today, after holding on to defeat a couple of next out winners, one of them called Sonar and the other one called Sound Machine, who came back and won the Musical Romance in her next start. That was going 6 furlongs. Now it was on the dirt in April, but I just think this horse, some back class, maybe can spring a little bit of a success, a little bit of an upset in here with her back class. I think could be the key to her success. So that is Compensate here on top of my ticket, 6-1 on the morning line, trying to get that price. The number 1, Rhino Gold, is debuting on the Tapeta today and looking to sit in the catbird seat behind the solid pace expected. Showed some late interest, in a pair of $60,000 overnight handicaps, going 5 furlongs on the turf. Victor Barboza Jr., Sammy Camacho in the saddle. And I just thought that this horse, if it can sit the trip behind the speed today, we'll see how that one runs. Let's see, is that the morning line favorite? No, that is not. The morning line favorite is the horse we'll talk about next, and that is Palamita, who's stepping up the competition after leading every step of the way to defeat 25 optional claimers and won that race by 3 widening lengths for David Fawkes. We got a stat with Mr. David Fawkes, who's having a banner meet, especially on the Tapeta, and a banner year. We're going to just see a winner last time out over the past year for David Fawkes. He's 12 for 34, 35%. He's in the money 56% of the time, 19 for 34, and a positive return of investment, $3.02. And he's just been tearing up the Tapeta. On the Tapeta, he's 8 for 15. That's 53% on that surface. We call him the king of the Tapeta now, David Fawkes, until somebody dethrones him. He's the one to beat. So you can understand this horse being the favorite in there. And then the number 3, All Quality, who's turning back to the about distance of 5 furlongs after dueling for the lead, and I thought held on gamely to defeat 25 optional claimers. That was going a mile 70 yards on the Tapeta. Mark Cassie, solid 19% with horses going from a route to a sprint. So good stat on Palomino, All Quality, trying to upset a little bit here in the first leg of the late pick 5 with number 4, Compensate. And here goes, my day is sort of zeroing in here in race number 5. And this one will be about a mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta. Maiden special weight 2-year-olds. And as you heard me say a couple of times already, my single today is the number 4, Beach Nut Trophy, who I think should be primed and ready to score. Was wide last time out, took the overland route when rallying 4 wide to finish second in a career debut at this level and distance. I mentioned how hot the barn has been, and it just thought this horse, it was incredible. We're going to show you. You can see up there, they've just been incredible over the last 30 days. You can see this stat. It's just been amazing. And also, Ashley helped me out, and she found the stat that we wanted to show with Saffie Joseph Jr. Just another angle to look at. Maiden's second time in the money on it after a being in the debut, in the money on their debut over the past year. 6 for 19, 32%. 11 for 19 in the money, that is 58%, with a 187 return of investment. So stats all over the place for Beech Nut Trophy. The barn is on fire, and we'll see if my single can get home. But you might want to also look at the 5 Creative Kid, who's wheeling back, certainly showed a fondness for this Tapeta surface after when he rallied to get the lead before settling for second at this level and distance. Trainer Elizabeth Dobles, Chantal Sutherland, who had a fantastic day on Sunday, returning on the son of Creative Cause. So we'll see how this horse runs. And don't forget that Beech Nut Trophy is a filly against the boys, so we'll see how that runs. So she's going to try and beat the boys, the Beech Nut Trophy. Creative Kid, of course, is a colt. And number 6, Empress Ellie, is another filly trying the boys today, stretching out around 2 turns after rallying really well to finish second in her 5.5 furlong career debut on this course on the all-weather surface. Rohan Crichton has Jose Morelos named to ride today. So you got a couple of fillies facing the boys today. Does Beech Nut Trophy upset the boys? We'll see how that happens. I've certainly got the stats to think that they might. Race number 6 today is 5.5 furlongs, starter optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up, which have started for $35,000 or less, or the claiming price of $35,000. And, well, this one is on the fast main track. And number 4, Think About It. Going to turn back just slightly today to 5.5 furlongs after returning from a layoff to finish a stalk the pace second. It was against this level of competition, going 3/4 of a mile for Eddie Plesa Jr. Edgar Desires in the saddle today. So number 4, Think About It, a second choice on the morning line. So I thought this horse had a nice shot. And that morning line favorite is the number 3, Canstados, who's shortening up to this distance we're talking about 5.5 furlongs after returning from about a 7-month layoff to finish third. A neck behind Think About It last time out. So Terry Pompey, pretty solid. She's 20% with the second start back from a 45 to 180-day layoff. And got Miguel Vasquez handling the rematch between these two. So I think, and as I did, use both of these on my ticket. And you got the number 1, R. King Kong, who's making his first start. You haven't seen him since he drew clear in the slop to defeat 35 maidens. Won that race by almost 3 lengths. It was back in August. And trainer Georgina Baxter, she's pretty solid, 25%, winning consecutive races. This one coming off the bench for one that does well exactly with those statistics. So we'll see how that one runs. So the 4, Think About It, the 3, Canstados, and the number 1, R. King Kong. Going to race number 7 today, and this one is about 1 mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta, and this one starter optional claimer for 2-year-old fillies, started for 35 or less, or the optional tag of 35,000. Had a scratch in here of the number 5, and as I mentioned when I was talking about my Rainbow 6 and the late pick 5, I wanted to see the rematch between the number 8 She Nasty and the number 7 Sneaky Cheeky. So we're going to pick these 2 horses up from the top of the stretch to the wire. And there you're going to see She Nasty, number 5. It's taking the overland route. They're going wide here, but really runs well here to score. I thought it was a nicely timed ride by Chantal Sutherland. And you're going to see Sneaky Cheeky, who is the number 2 horse, coming up and trying to close. If you heard Pete's call, he sort of said maybe she can close and get it, but not to be. So these 2 are hooking up again today. And you know, perfectly timed ride, as I mentioned, by Chantal last time out. Sneaky Cheeky is another, definitely that showed a fondness for the Tapeta, as you saw there. And I think the rematch is going to be a pretty nice race. And the number 4 horse in here, Some Return, who's stepping up and stretching out to the about 1 mile and 70 yards after responding to the addition of blinkers with a much the best score. That was against those 35 maidens going 7 furlongs. That was on a good main track. Safi Joseph Jr., Semi Camacho, atop this daughter of In Summation. So Some Return maybe can upset both She Nasty and Sneaky Cheeky. And I think the 8 and the 7 are going to be the first 2 choices in that race. We'll see how it plays out. Going to race number 8, the final on today's card, with a 9 in the field, no scratches. Also on the Tapeta at 1 mile, about 1 mile and 70 yards. These are made in claiming 2-year-olds. $35,000. And if you're a Kansas City Chief fan, I guess you bet the number 7 in here is dropping to the 35 level. Tracked the pace and finished third behind an undefeated next out stakes winner called Make It Big. That was in its 7 furlong main track special weight debut. So it was sort of flattered by running with Make It Big, who came from off the pace the other day to win after showing speed in its first race. But what about the number 6 horse in here, Sun Viking? Who I think is going to take a lot of money in this spot, might take the lion's share of the money. We're going to go back and show you this horse's last race. We're going to pick it up from the top of the stretch to the wire. When this one, you're going to see the number 9 here, Sun Viking, just has to go wide in here. And I just thought it was on the Tapeta here. And I think the drop to the 35,000, this level would be good for this horse here. Responded to both that surface switch last time out and the added distance. I thought, look at this well-meant second-place finish after going wide. Was ding-donging it right to the wide, and that was the 5-2 favorite in front. Just couldn't get by. It was a really nice performance, I think, with a cleaner trip. Sun Viking is going to run well in here. Then you have the number 2, and that is Granny Makes Sense, who's certainly eligible to show more for the dynamic duo of Safi and Edgard after showing speed and fading in her maiden special weight debut, going the same about mile and 70-yard distance on the Tapeta. And I think the drop to the $35,000 level can be key this afternoon. So 7, 6, and 2 for me in race number 8. Going to take a short break, catch my breath, come back with our lightning round this afternoon.
Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new Mobile Pass Performances. Access the most trusted information in horse racing, including exclusive buyer speed figures and DRF analysis and selections. Experience the new mobile optimized DRF Pass Performances on your phone from anywhere at any time. Go to drf.com/now. Use coupon code NOW to get a free single card and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand.
Welcome back to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti here, and we're going to start it off, of course, like we do each and every Thursday when we come back after our 3-day vacation, or we'll call it a brief break with the jockey standings. And Edgar just exploded. He's got 26 wins now. Miguel Angel Vasquez, 18 wins. Sammy Camacho, Edwin Gonzalez, Emmett Cial, the top 5 you always see. But Edgar just been fantastic for those 26 wins and just been on fire. We'll give you a stat on that a little later on, how good he's been going. And let's check out the trainer standings now. And you're going to see Safi has jumped to the lead. Sort of looks like the spring-summer meet. He started, they were sort of even, and they just exploded. I mean, he's second. Behind him is David Fawkes, who's king of the Tapeta, as I mentioned, with 8 of those 10 wins coming on the Tapeta surface. Antonio Sano, Jorge Delgado, and Mr. Mark Cassie. But Safi has just went from, he's had 21 wins, I believe, over all around the country in his last certain amount of starts. Another stat I'll give you a little later on. And, a sad, well, we told you already about this. This is not a sad note. This is a very exciting note about the late pick 5 today with $40,000 plus in the pool. Going to be sending it in. That's races 4 through 8 this afternoon. Now, as I mentioned, sort of jumped the gun a little bit. A horse we had so much fun here, Kukla Khan, Mexico's Triple Crown winner, and of course won the Caribe del Clásico del Caribe right here, passed away, and it was a shame that he passed away. He was a really fun horse. And there you see him there winning Gulfstream. He was just so much fun, and everybody loved saying Kukla Khan as he came past the wire. So there he is. Sorry to hear that he passed away. Really nice horse, trained by Fausto Gutierrez. And then one of our homegrown guys is doing fantastic up there in Kentucky, and I want to give some props to Tyler Gaffleone, who won his 3rd Keeneland meeting with 29 victories. Of course, started right here, was apprentice champion, and from South Florida, lives about half a mile from here. So congratulations to Tyler Gaffleone, winning his 3rd Keeneland meeting up there with 29 victories. I think right behind him, the next guy had like 14 or something like that. And then, as I mentioned a couple of times, times. What a great day Chantal has. And I think this is 2 Sundays in a row where she had multiple wins. And we just wanted to catch her winning the 8th race on Sunday with Mr. Matusek. And just a really nice ride by her in here. I thought it was perfectly timed. She's just been riding well with the 6 horse, who was a price in that race, 7-1. And she just got up at the wire. Nice ride by Chantal. So a good she's been just going great guns, and she likes to win on Sunday, so make sure you mark that down. And there she is in the winner's circle. Congratulations to all the connections. So I'm going to take a little short break. I'm going to turn it over to our track announcer today, and that is Gabe Prude, who's filling in for Pete Aiello, who's on his yearly sojourn. It's got to have something to do with the Carolina Panthers somewhere in that whole thing. But Gabe Prude does an excellent job. He'll be up in just a couple of moments with the scratches and changes.
And they're off. Second in the 2 path.